Good morning, my friends, and welcome to Mrs. Achari's Kindergarten Cabin. So today's word study lesson is going to be working on some spelling of some long vowel words. But before we begin, we're going to do a quick warm-up, we're going to do a quick review, and then we're going to do the work, okay? So what you're probably going to need today, if you'd like to participate, is a piece of paper, or you can use a whiteboard if you have it, okay? And then, of course, something to write with. All right, so we are going to begin with a quick rhyming activity, okay? So I'm going to tell you a word and I want you to think of as many words as you possibly can that rhyme with this word, okay? And I want you to think about the word cake. Can you think of every word possible that rhymes with cake? Ready, set, go. Okay, so I hope all of you came up with some words that rhymed with cake. And let's just talk about some of those. Maybe rake. How about make? How about take? How about sake? How about Blake? Okay, so there are lots of words that rhyme with make or cake. Okay, so second part of our lesson is our review. Okay, we got to go back and remember something that we learned last week to help us with today's lesson. So last week we learned about that silent sneaky E, okay? And the sneaky E is that letter that sneaks up on the end of words to make the long vowel say its name. And we can't hear that letter E, but man, it can sure do a job because it goes in there and it makes the vowel change its name. So even though we don't hear the E when we sound the word out, he has a special job because he's telling the vowel, you need to say your name. Okay, so this is sneaky E again. Okay, so remember when there's an E at the end of a word that has a consonant, vowel, consonant, and then an E, it's going to make the vowel say its own name. All right, so real quick, I wanted to also remind you of something that we did in the classroom before school ended, and that was making word families, okay? So if you remember, we would start with a word like cat. And where did I put my whiteboard? I had my whiteboard here. Oh, here, it's right here. Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick review with you guys, okay? So when we were working with word families in the classroom, we would start with a word like cat. And these are short vowels, okay? And then we would change the first letter because remember, we're like magic people because we can make new words by just changing the first letter. So we can take cat and then we can make mat. And then we can perform our magic again and we can make the word pat. And then we can perform our magic again and we can make the word sat. And of course we can keep on doing this by changing that first letter. So remember that we are magic people, and if we use our brains, we can make magic happen with words. And that's what we're going to do today. So this is where your pencil and paper or your whiteboard are going to come in. So I'm going to change my sneaky E. So let's say goodbye to sneaky E for now. And we're going to replace sneaky E with this big piece of, with this big cake, okay? And what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be making new words out of this ending of the word cake. Okay, so I'm gonna write the word family up here. The word family is ache. Okay, so if we can change the first letter every time, we can make a whole bunch of new words. So I'm gonna let you take a minute. If you want to draw the cake, you can. Or if you'd rather just have a piece of paper or your whiteboard ready so that you can be changing the first letter to make new words, you can do that. So just remember that you want to write, if you're using a whiteboard, you want to do what Mrs. Achari did and write ache on your whiteboard in the middle like this. And then every time you can just keep changing the first letter. Erase. Every time we make a new word, you can just keep changing the first letter. Okay? Some of you also like to make a list. So you might have like that. And then you're just going to keep adding letters to the beginning to make new words. So I want you to fit this how you would like to do it, okay? So I'm going to give you a minute to do that. and get yourself ready. All right, let's get started. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be working our word magic. We have the word family ache, which we know is the word cake. And I've already asked you to think of some words that rhyme with cake. So we're going to go down the list and we're just going to keep changing the first letter to make new words. I will have my alphabet chart handy just in case we need to check it to figure out what letter goes there, okay? You guys probably won't need to, but just in case. All right, so the first word we're going to write is cake, ache. And we know that there are two letters that make that k sound, but in the word cake, it is the letter C. K, ache, k, ache, cake. Okay, so what would happen if we change the first letter to make the word make? What letter would that be? Ache, make. I need the alphabet chart. I'm looking. Oh, I see a monkey. Monkey makes the same sound as at the beginning of make. Ache, make. Good work. Okay, let's move on down. Let's reread our words that we have so far. Cake, make, and now we're going to do another one. My kids have been doing a lot of this since school got out. They've been using a rake to rake up our yard. So let's take a look at our alphabet chart. Ache. Oh, I see that rainbow too. Rake. Very good. Also, a student in our class has that at the beginning of his name. Ret. Okay, so we have rake. Ache, rake. Cake, make, rake. Okay, next one. This is what you do when you're subtracting. You take away. Ache. What letter? Just like turtle. Take. Very good. Ache. Take. Cake, make, rake, take. Okay, next one. Ache. Lake. Ache. Lake. I bet all of us really want to go to the lake. I know I do. This warm weather, it makes me want to go swim. Lake. All right, lake, ladybug. So we're going to change that first letter to make a new word, and we are so magic here. We're making the word lake. Lake. Cake, make, rake, take, lake. Ooh, this one's going to be a little bit trickier. Now I need to find my blends and diagraphs chart, which is on the next page. Okay, now we're going to be making some with blends at the beginning, okay? So, the first one, we are not going to see these probably for a long time, but you never know. Flake, like a snowflake. So let's think about the two letters that are working together there. Flake, flake. Very good. If you saw that flower, you are correct. Flake. Very good. Flake. Flake. Okay, the next one is going to be one that's not a blend. I want to do another one, okay, because we need to talk about this letter. So, bake. 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 Okay, very good. That would be a B like in ball. Now, you guys, I know that we have not been in school, but I want to remind you something about the letter B and the letter D. We get those complicated and mixed up sometimes, right? So, B is a straight line down and then a belly in the front, okay? So we can say a bat and then a ball, or a body and a belly, okay? So remember, the belly goes out into the front on the letter B. So if you're working on any letter writing, make sure that your B has a belly out in the front. And remember, D has a diaper in the back. Okay, all right, next one. We're gonna go back to our blends and diagraphs now. Okay, this one is in one of our goodbyes that we do. Shake, shake, rattlesnake. Shake, shake, shake. There we go. SH is a digraph. It makes the sh sound. So shake, shake, rattlesnake. Cake, make, rake, take, lake, flake, bake, shake. One more is a friend in our class who has, I look forward to being in the classroom with you guys because we can always use our names to help us with spelling. And so we have to make sure that we're remembering the names of our friends so that we can use it to help us spell. And we have a special friend in our class and his name rhymes with cake and his name is Blake. So the beginning of his name is Bull. Bull. Very good. It's like in block, okay? And remember, since it's a name, we have to start with a capital B. So it's bull, Blake, Blake. Cake, make, rake, take, lake, flake, bake, shake, Blake. Okay. All right, kiddos. So today what we worked on is we were able to change the first letter in the word cake to make a whole bunch of new words. And these words all have the long A sound, okay? So that's the work that we did today was we can make new words out of other words, okay? And another way we can remember this is by saying, if you know how to spell cake, then you know how to spell make. If you know how to spell cake, then you know how to spell rake. If you know how to spell cake, then you know how to spell take. And I'm not going to keep going because I'm running out of breath. Okay, so before we go today, I am going to ask you to do a little job for me. I want you to take a sight word that we know. That is the word like, okay? Like is in the Ike family. So it's I-K-E. Can you change the first letter to make a new word? Can you do that for me? So if you know how to spell like, you know how to spell. On that note, kiddos, you have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday.